up, you beauties? Welcome to High and Wide Hockey's YouTube channel, episode 12 of season 8. I'm your host, Jim Microphone, joined as always by Jack Smith. If you're catching us live on YouTube, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the alert so you never miss a show. And for all the podcast listeners out there, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify so you're first in line when newest episodes drop. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Flyers hockey is finally here. It's the night before the 2025-2026 season for the Flyers. They're down in Florida getting ready for their first game against the defending champs. Oh, yeah, it looked okay last night against Chicago, Jack. Chicago gave them a little bit of a scare, but it's finally here. The roster's set. We're going to talk roster. We're going to talk season predictions, so we'll get into all that. Lot to get to. We got a lot of other topics to get to tonight, Jack. I mean, where should we start first? Like, I'm too excited. I can't even pick, Jack. What do you want to talk about first here?
To be honest with you, Jim, I saw the practice lines, and that's probably what we're going with going into the game. So if you want to run that down real quick.
Yeah, so let's get into the practice lines. I don't have that up in front of me. Do you have it up in front of you there?
I have the forward lines at least.
Okay.
I think we kind of know the defense.
Yeah, I mean, the defense is going to be – I mean, yeah, let's knock out the forwards, and then the defense is like, man, what the hell is going on here already?
Oh, boy. So according to what they ran at practice, we got for your top line, Couturier centering Michkov to his right, and to his left, Christian Dvorak has made the top line. On the second line, you have Trevor Zegras centering Konechny to his right, Owen Tippett to his left. The third line, I'm sure everybody's going to be fine with. Cates, Brink, Forrester. We all know and love that one. And then it looks like the fourth line will have Abel centering Hathaway and either Luchenko or Delorier. And for what I understand, it's probably going to be Delorier because it's Florida. So we shall see. Jim, what do you think of those four offensive lines?
Yeah, I'm good with it. I think it's a little bit weird to see Dvorak on the top line. What I'm assuming they're going to do, and because Rick Tocchet mentioned he wants to get, Dvorak more playing time. He wants to move him around the lineup. I'm going to assume that Delorier will maybe play 5 minutes if he's in the lineup tomorrow night. And Dvorak, not that Dvorak's going to be double shifting, but whoever's playing left wing or maybe wing in general is just going to be all over the lineup tomorrow night. Maybe Dvorak gets some shifts in on the fourth line, some shifts in on the top line. What have you. We'll kind of see them moving things around. From if I remember correctly, he was kind of going crazy with line combinations during preseason. And
yes, it was.
I'm wondering if we're going to see him switch things around a bunch, maybe the first handful of games here to kind of get a feel for where guys should be kind of thing. Like not that it's so much auditioning, but nothing's really set in stone. Right. So I'm wondering if maybe we see Dvorak kind of flex in on that fourth line, maybe on the first or the second line, wherever the hell. I think they're going to try to play him all over the place. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that certainly makes sense, especially if they're going to play him. He's going to play on the penalty kill for sure. But does that mean that there's, in your opinion, that we're going to see somebody else with Couturier and Michkov, like potentially a Luchenko? I think this is a guy you want to play with skilled forwards, but I don't know how I feel about the first line. But with them having, it says Luchenko / Delorier as your fourth line winger, that could just be that's maybe Luchenko gets into the next game after Florida, or they're going to I don't know, maybe start him and bounce him around, or who knows. And there's no Grabenkin at all. I thought he was going to be a shoo-in for that fourth line, but I guess after seeing that Florida Tampa game and everything that went down and knowing how dirty Florida is, they want to roll. They feel better with Delorier. They're going to roll in heavy. So I guess to me that says Delorier will be on the fourth line, which means if Dvorak gets moved around, there isn't really anybody to put up in that spot. It's going to, you're going to move Tippett up in there. I mean, I thought they were honestly going to start with Coots, Tippett, and TK just for some familiarity and them wanting to keep Zegras and Michkov together. Now, I know that's going to be more of a power play thing, but we also talked about Dvorak playing wing to wherever Zegras is for face-offs and whatnot. So, long story short, I have no idea what the hell they're going to do. Although I do think Dvorak will get more ice time than you'd think, particularly when they're on the penalty kill, because he looked good. We know he's good at face-off. We got two good face-off guys on the same line. Were they worried about somebody getting thrown out? So that was the biggest surprise. Not that I hate it, but that was the biggest surprise for me was Dvorak on the top line with Couturier and Mishkov.
Yeah, and it's why like you can't really read too much into the lineups, especially opening night, because we are going to see, I think we're banking a lot. And, we'll see Luchenko, I'm going to assume for his 9 games. I don't know about 9 games in a row. Like they'll pick their spots with them, which is fine. Like I would probably bet money that we see Delorier tomorrow night over Luchenko. But they have options. Like they're not a team that the main goal is the playoffs. So you can kind of screw around a little bit here and kind of tinker with things and whatnot. But as you mentioned, I like that they kept the third line intact, what we think is the third line. And, hopefully they can hit the ground running there and let these other guys kind of figure things out. Zegras is a brand new player, right? There's some unfamiliarity there. Is Couturier going to be rejuvenated under a new coach? No more excuses, right? For Coots, he should be a few years off of these surgeries now. New coach, he likes them. They talk a lot more, yada, yada. Let's see if it translates to the ice. So, all right, let's talk about the defense, Jack. And I kind of can't wait to talk about this defense. You know why? Because it sucks. And it's already banged up. York's banged up. The guy who's supposed to play instead of York's banged up. And Emil Andre's still in Lehigh Valley, Jack. I don't know why. He's one of the most skilled defenders on the team. But I digress. All right. Top pair was supposed to be Cam York, Travis Sanheim. The second pair on most playoff teams. All right. But it's our top pair. So it is what it is. Second pair was supposed to be Sealer and Drysdale. Nick Sealer on your second pair is a goddamn shame. Love the guy. Third pair defenseman on most teams. Jamie Drysdale, likely a third pair defenseman right now on most teams. So Philadelphia Flyers second pair. Third pair, we got no idea what the third pair is going to be, Jack. Right? We're thinking, okay, this Dennis Gilbert guy is going to come in and replace York, and maybe Sealer gets moved up to the Nick Sealer on the top pair, Jack, with Travis Sanheim. Put whoever the hell you want on the third pair tomorrow night. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the defense, Jack?
Oh boy, you pretty much laid it out there. It's going to be rough, and there's so much to attack here. You speak about Andre, because the thing that I was worried about with York, it's like, okay, it sounds like he's only going to be out for a game. Well, that's actually not true. Now it sounds like he's going to miss a few games. I don't think he's going to miss a month, but it sounds like he could miss a week or two. He's going to miss some games. So you theoretically would call up somebody like we discussed, like Andre, to fill in for him. But they're not doing that. They're keeping Gilbert around. And it's like, well, why the hell is that? And according to the team, and I'll be honest, we're not there at practice. We've only seen the preseason games, but they don't think that Andre had the best camp, the best preseason games. He wasn't the guy when they first called him up last year. They want him to go down into the Phantoms and kind of cook and just kind of miss a golden opportunity here, I guess. And for me, not there in practice, but based on what we saw in the game, like he was better than Jennings, he was better than Juleson, he was definitely better than Zamula, and he was better than Gilbert. So why he is not here and all of them are, whether he banged down the door or not, which he really didn't, he still was better than all those guys. So to me, this is 100% nothing more than a size thing. Well, now that York's out, okay, you can't use that size thing I just think they're just, no, we've made our decision on him. He's going to have to prove he can play better down there before we call him up. And it's like, what did this guy do to you guys? Like, do you not like how he handled himself last year under Tortorella of all people? Like, did you not like when you sent him down? He didn't play all that well. When he came back up, he wasn't the same player, and he was kind of an afterthought in the playoffs. I don't know, but it just feels like this guy has everything working against him. That being said, we look at who is on the lineup, and I think 2 or 3 of these guys I don't say they're not NHL defensemen, but they're probably seventh defensemen in Juleson, Gilbert, and Zamula. To me, all of those guys are bottom pair at best, most likely should be sitting in the press box in case of injury, which obviously we have 2. I get that, but that is very bad for your defense going up against the defending Stanley Cup champs. And hopefully it's not for an extended period of time. Hopefully nobody else gets hurt, because good God, I thought goaltending was the weakness. We could have a brand new other weakness to add to it, and just get out your McKenna signs now, because my goodness, this could be trouble.
Yeah, and that's why when people ask, what are the Flyers going to do this year? I'll tell them, well, they might be fun to watch, because I hope, at least with this forward group and guys like Drysdale and what we're hearing from Cam York, they should be able to score goals. Why I don't say they're going to sniff the playoffs or make the playoffs, and we'll get into season predictions, is not only are their goalies both backup goalies, but their defense core, and I don't know why we don't talk about this more often, is ass. It's not good. Travis Sanheim, give him a lot of credit, because he's grown into a very good player. He's been on Team Canada. It's hard to say negative things about Travis Sanheim these days. Cam York, I think it's fair to say, has underwhelmed up to this point in his career. We heard preseason things about Cam York. He's looked better than ever, heads and shoulders above last year, yada, yada. A lot of these guys, the NHL guys, probably looked pretty good in preseason. I don't know that I would be out there tooting his horns the same way based off what I saw, but, and he starts the year off hurt. So, I don't want to trash the defense too much, because I want this show to be more about excitement, but we still have to be realistic. This defense core is, if anyone's out there thinking the Flyers are going to make the playoffs, I will bet you my house that Rick Tocchet, there's no way. And somebody mentioned it in the chat. The reason the Flyers were blocking shots the way that they've been the last few years is because their D-core stinks, right? The reason why they want size over skill in the D-core is because they stink, right? So they're going to be boxing guys out, physically manhandling guys, whatever it is, blocking shots, getting sticks in lanes, big bodies clogging up lanes, because they're not very good. All right. So, and you combine bad defense with bad goaltending, right? I think the same comment was, when these goalies don't have guys blocking shots the same way they've been, that means more shots are getting through. Your goalies should be more exposed, unless these guys want to see more shots. I don't foresee this going well. Same weakness as last year, right? Maybe Vladar is an upgrade, but it's still sub 900 save percentage last year. Let's not look, I said it last episode. I hope that Vladar can just help stabilize the position. I don't need him, 9-10, 9-15. I don't need him stealing games. Just give Urson a break. Allow Urson. Let's see what we really got in Sam Urson. You know what I mean? That's all.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Vladar, in a way, no matter how well he plays, he will stabilize the position. Unfortunately, this defensive core will not stabilize the position. So we're going to probably be right back at square one. We'll see how long it lasts. Maybe I'm selling him short. I just hated what I saw from Zamula. Juleson had one decent game at the end there for me. Gilbert didn't even make the cut. He's here out of necessity. I'm just like, this is, and all three of them are starting. Like, I'm almost positive, right? You have to, and I'm just like, this is bad. Like, how long is this going to last? What if somebody else gets hurt? I mean, look, you're down York and Ristolainen. Those are two of your better defensemen for sure. It's going to sting. It's just, when you look at it on paper, it's like, holy cow, there's nobody else we could have called up. Oh, wait, there was, but we're not going to do it. So it's just, it's just, even Bonk's hurt. He couldn't give you anything and get a cup of coffee at this time and whatnot. It's a shame, and I think we're really going to feel it. When I looked at some predictions and I was trying to come up with my predictions, and the old question of the playoff always comes up. It's just, how can you look at that? I know there's injuries, but how can you look at that and be like, take them seriously with the goaltending? I don't care who's on. I think the forwards are playoffs. Sure. The rest of the team, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, there was I think Friedman reported it on 32 Thoughts that apparently, it's just a rumor, I don't know. Danny Briere's already on the phone, looking for D, looking for defense. Get your mind out of the gutter. All right, so Briere's looking for defense already. We haven't even played game one. I like the proactivity there, right? Because he can acknowledge that his decors, let's face it, it's in shambles already, and the guys that you're hoping, like, are we relying? That bottom pair is a mess. Somebody mentioned Ginning. I completely forgot about Adam Ginning. Congratulations, great camp. Jamie Drysdale's a guy that we're all, and we'll talk about him in our season predictions and whatnot, but he's a guy that we're all hoping has a bounce back year, big season, first healthy full season with the Flyers coming up. Wasn't healthy heading into last year, at least for the first 2 months. I mean, Nick Seeler is in your top 4, which is discouraging, so I don't know. We'll see. Not going to get too down on them because they got to play a game first, right? And they'll probably play great tomorrow night, of course. But it's tough for me to go out and say, even as bad as the Metro is, and we'll talk about it because the Metro is an absolute, shit. It's bad. The Flyers aren't going to sniff a wild card spot, even with Rick Tocchet in his first year. I don't think they're going to come close. So, all right, let's move on. We kind of touched on the goalies a little bit. I don't want to spend too much time on the goalies, Jack. Do you?
Nah, I'm good. I'm depressed enough as it is.
I mean, we kind of think we know what we got in Sam Ersson, and Dan Vladar, while he was one of the better free agent goalies out there, is more like a backup type thing. So we'll see. All right, let's move along here. So do we want to dive in to season predictions, or do we want to kind of do some housekeeping here? Flyers were able to trade Ryan Ellis's contract, the ghost of Ryan Ellis, to San Jose, which, it's a big deal.
Yes, it is.
I believe 4.25 opened up on the salary cap. They now have over 7.5 million available to spend. So, who knows what they're going to do with that? I don't get the sense that there's a hole burning in their pocket. But I also wonder, because we're seeing some of these signings come in. McDavid signed, Kaprizov signed, Jack Eichel signed earlier today. I got to wonder if it's kind of like, if you're an upcoming free agent or something, you maybe just like hey, look at us. We have this money in cap space. This can be yours kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? I think I read that Briere mentioned that Mike Grier kind of takes his time with trades, and this was something that was building for at least the last 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it was. So maybe it's just timing of it all. But finally got rid of Ryan Ellis, Jack.
Yeah, it was something they just needed to do. If they're, really serious about turning in a corner, want to bring some players in here, and probably going to be by trade now, as you alluded to, how quickly the free agent 2026 class dried up. So it's just something that needed to be done. And what did you really lose? You traded Fedotov for a 6th-round pick, which surprised everybody. And you used that 6th-round pick to get rid of Ryan Ellis's contract. And not that it's worth anything, but you actually acquired like something of a prospect in a 22-year-old defenseman. And another guy who actually will play in the AHL but could be called up because he has NHL games under his belt. And the main thing is they're both free agents after this year. So that finally that money is off the books. And so is a lot after the season. So just a great asset management, like top notch. So you can't be upset with it.
No, he's done a great job with that. I think, at least following the plan. I mean, I think it's been clear, all this money comes off for the summer of 2026, whatever it is. And, who knows what's going to happen here. I'm trying to get to cap projections real quick on Puckpedia. You know what? Let me share this for you and the audience here. Share screen. We have this great tool that we pay $50 a month for here on StreamYard. So let's use it. All right. So we're looking at the projected cap for the next few years. Projected cap limit for 2025-26 is $95 million. And the Flyers have a projected 6.640. And you could see what that jumps up to next year. Now, I know they have a few guys that they got to get under contract themselves, but $46 million in projected cap space they're going to have heading into next season. I don't really want to get into who needs a contract on the team, but I can tell you that they're not taking up all $46 million
No.
of that cap space. So something's going to happen. I don't know what, because the guys that, McDavid's gone, far cry from that ever happening anyways. Jack Eichel's gone. I think a lot of people were kind of hitching their wagon on the Eichel. Kaprizov, who I think it came out earlier this week on Spit and Chicklets that Briere was ready to pay Kaprizov whatever the hell he wanted, right? It was a phone call away or something like that. So
be careful. Minnesota could pursue legal action.
Yeah, interesting stuff. But to me, it signals if there's talent available, Flyers are going to be in on it. And that alone to me is exciting,
Yeah. I mean, I'm just real quick. I'm looking at some of the free agents that are available now that basically everybody signed. And you got basically a 35-year-old Panarin, a retired Carey Price, Sergei Bobrovsky, Alexander Ovechkin, Cale Makar. Although if he hits free agency, there's no chance.
Nobody likes to play with McKinnon out there for some reason. So maybe Briere can right the wrong of Flyers past. Maybe he can bring Makar home to play with Michkov.
Home, who we should have taken in 2017.
His rightful home.
Patrick Laine, John Carlson, he'll be about to be 37. Jacob Trouba, Shea Weber, his contract's coming up. Kopitar, who announced he's retiring. Kevin Hayes, Andres Lee, Ryan McDonough.
Yeah, I mean, there will be more free agencies. You're hoping to add free agents next year, but it's not like the be all end all. Like the forward group Porter Martone will be on the Flyer. What if I came out and said this? Porter Martone will have a permanent spot on the roster before Jet Luchenko.
I believe that. I mean, just listening to Jonesy and Briere, they think he could play this year. They just like it better for his development. So, I think he's going to be a stud. Obviously we need help at center, and I was a big Hagens guy, but if Martone was a center, he would have went third overall.
Who went first this year? Schaefer
and then Misa. And Misa can play center. He's not like a all out center, but he can play it.
I think you could make an argument that the Flyers may have gotten the best offensive player, and we'll see, because these guys will all be good in their own separate ways, different skills and whatnot. But Martone, I think he could be a top line guy as soon as 2 years,
for sure.
3 years.
For sure. Talent wise, I think he was probably the third best player in the draft.
Yeah.
Really. And then you throw the size factor in there, damn. So there's definitely a lot to like, for sure. We got to get a defense, and we got to get a center.
Makar's the guy now.
That would be if there's no
McDavid's
chance.
gone, Eichel's gone, Kaprizov's gone. Now it's Makar.
If they had re-signed Rantanen to
Makar, Michkov, Martone.
No chance.
It's destiny. Flyers need a 1D. It's lining up. Back the trucks up, Danny. $20 million a year.
I think Aerosmith said it best. Dream on. There's no way. There's no way.
I gotta get my wig out for the next Aerosmith reference.
I'll be on. I'll let you know when it's coming.
All right. So no Makar, party pooper over here.
Well, come on. I was all about we're gonna have Kyle Connor, Kaprizov, McDavid, and Eichel, and he'll even make it past October. What's today? The 8th?
Maybe Makar was the plan all along. Maybe we don't need a 1C. Everyone's kind of switching. 1C. Who needs a 1C? Maybe Makar was the plan. Bring him home.
Jimmy.
All right. In related news, former Flyer Cam Atkinson retired today. Wish you well, Cam. Yeah, rough. He was a Flyer during one of the roughest times, but
I liked the trade at the time. I did. We needed to move on from Voracek. He still had it. His first year was pretty solid, and much like the team, it was all downhill from there.
Good guy by all accounts. Unfortunately,
things
kind of flamed out for him here in Philadelphia, which we kind of expected.
What are you gonna do?
Okay, all right. So we kind of touched on most of these topics in all different ways here. So let's start, because we're just about a half an hour and 25 minutes into the show. If you guys have been hanging out with us for all 25 minutes, congratulations. You don't really win anything. You just get to look at us for another 35 minutes. All right, so let's get to season predictions, Jack. We'll get to Metro Division playoff predictions kind of at the end here. Season predictions. These are always fun.
Yes, sir.
If we nail any of these, I mean, I don't know. Should we do something cool? I mean, should I be writing these down?
Write them down. We'll figure out what we're going to do later. Let's write them down.
I got my handy dandy notepad here. My gold pen.
Hey,
all right. First category here. Season predictions for the Philadelphia Flyers for 2025-2026. I see a Brady Martin thing in the chat there. We will get to that.
No.
Nashville Predator 1C Brady Martin.
1C with all that competition over there.
Yeah. Okay. Back to the Flyers. Jack, who will lead the team in goals this year?
I'm going, and I know this is going to blow people away, but I'm going with the same guy who led him last year, and Michkov. I got him. I'm penciling him in for 33 goals this year. That's another 7 goals from this year. I mean, I think he could have had it this past year if he hit a couple of empty nets and a couple of other things went his way. So I'm going with Michkov. He's a superstar. He's going to take steps forward. I got him breaking the 30-goal mark. At 33, really, not just getting it, almost 35 at that point. So give me Michkov.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like. We hope that he leads the team in goals. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I got to imagine the power play is going to be at least a little bit freaking better. Yeah. And whether it's points or goals or both, I just see him improving. And 7 could be a lot, but I feel like they might be playing a lot of games where they have to score some goals and not exactly holding on to these 1-0 shutout games because of how bad their defense in particular and potentially their goaltending could be.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he's got some consistent centerman play. I mean, if he's not with Zegras, he's probably with Couturier, and they got along pretty well last year. But there's a chance for Zegras Michkov to be an absolute powder keg of offense there.
Right? Look, and maybe I'm getting overly excited, but when I hear, and this is for more than just I like the two together, when I hear the two of them are staying after practice, and there's a language barrier, and they're still practicing together, just the two of them. And they're doing things. And these are like our two best players when it comes to the highlight reel upper end skill. And they're constantly hanging out after practice, just doing stuff. And I was at the game where Zegras scored that power play goal from Michkov, and it was pretty. Like, my God, can we get more of that, please? So I'm a little overly excited for that stuff. So that's why I put that there. Plus, Michkov's a freaking stud. If he takes a step back this year, it is what it is. He's still going to be a stud. But I got him penciled in. He's got too much of a Michael Jordan mentality in him to do that, if you ask me. So outside of an injury, pencil him in for 30+ goals this year.
Yeah, I like that prediction. I think it's a good number for you, 33 goals. Nice little jump from 26 for old Meech.
That's right.
Okay. Obviously, I would like to say Michkov as well. I'll go TK. I think he was under 30 goal scorer last year.
Well, yeah, because I think Michkov finished with 26 and he led.
Oh, okay, so yeah. So I'll go TK. I wonder, like, if more consistency in the lineup also, kind of trickles off to some of these guys. I'd like to say guys like Forster or Tippett, but just for the sake of this, because I feel like I always try to go for. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I just did a redraft fantasy hockey league, and I don't know about you, but I suck at all these redraft leagues because I'm so used to looking for, the potential and the younger guys who's going to break out.
Dynasty leagues, yeah.
I so badly wanted to just say, like, Owen Tippett, like, new coach. I'm hoping that Tockett's going to use him the way that he used to use Besser. I'm expecting Tippett to score some power play goals this year. So, like, I really wanted to say Tippett, but I'm going to save him for later on because we have more categories to get to. So I'm going to go TK just to be on the safe side here.
If he doesn't die off like he did last year, he could have had 40 goals. Like, he was on pace to freak
he's got to
out.
score on the power play.
That too, if that helps him out as well. But he really just like he had like 19 goals by like January, and then only scored a couple the rest of the way. He still had the assists, but like his offense fell off a cliff. I'm sure Four Nations had a lot to do with that. We'll see what the Olympics does to everybody, but I don't think he'll fall off. Yeah, TK. I don't think that he'll fall off. So I don't think that's wild at all to say TK. So
yeah, you know that's interesting because there's the Olympics this year. So curious to see if that does anything to him. Michkov, we don't have to worry about that because for whatever reason, Russia still can't play in the Olympics. I don't know why.
Well, Michkov can't get hurt then in non-NHL play.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we got goals. We have Michkov and we have TK. Assists. Who leads the team in assists, Jack?
So this is where I have TK, and I have him gathering up 56 assists this year.
Wow.
I don't remember how many he had last year. I'm sure it was probably around that, maybe not as much. But again, a lot of this has to do with the improved power play that has to improve. It has to. It freaking has to. New coaching staff, Zegras, hopefully Drysdale takes a step. It just makes too much sense. Maybe it's not as much as we like, but even a little bit is still an improvement. Give me TK, 56 assists.
All right, TK, you got. Excuse me. TK 56. I'm going to go Trevor Zegras.
Oh, that would be well, how many?
I think I don't know. I think he's going to feast this year. The Flyers have a plethora of really good wingers, guys that can put the puck in the net. We already mentioned Michkov, TK, Forster, Tippett. Bobby Brink can put the puck in the net. I'm missing somebody.
Are you talking about goal scorer? Did you say Forster?
Banking can play up there. Said Forster, yeah. But I guess the point is, he's not short for guys that can put the puck in the net. And what is Zegras known for doing? Distributing, being a magician. And so, I don't think 70 points overall for Zegras is out of the question. I think he can put up 50 plus assists this year. Exact number, I'll go 51. I have to pick a number, but I'm going to go.
I don't know what I like better, 70 points or 51 assists. I mean, that would be.
Hey, only got to score 19, 20 goals. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that would be incredible for him.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be, because his career high is only like maybe 65.
Yeah.
63-ish. So, I mean, that would be amazing. And we would re-sign him immediately. So
get him in that center spot. Maybe that's. I mean, if Zegras puts up 50 points, 50 assists, 70 points in his first year as a Flyer, maybe the Flyers are just saving all that cap for Trevor Zegras. Who knows?
Whatever. Give it to him.
Yeah.
Probably can still get a little bit of a discount, so take it.
You would hope so. All right. So we got TK and we got TZ. Apparently you can't view the Flyers point total. I'm trying to get them on.
But make sure you're going to last year.
Yeah, where the hell's I just want to look at the roster. Okay, here we go. Just for the viewers, since I'm sharing the screen.
There you go.
I understand. Take all my cookies, whatever. Okay, here we go. All right. Point leader for the Flyers for the 2025-2026 season, Jack. Who do you got?
I am I'm going to go with Matvei Michkov. If he's going to have 33 goals and we know he's going to be going crazy, I don't have him more points than Zegras, but I see a superstar. I do, and it's wishful thinking, but I got him just getting by the 80-point plateau. Yes, that's nearly a 20-point increase from the previous year. I think Zegras, the power play, maybe Drysdale, maybe a few other things could help that. He's more acclimated to not only the league, but the country. And I think that his mentality is just wild to me. And I love everything about the guy. So I got him breaking it 80 points for 81 points as he continues his upward trajectory.
Wait a second.
And we'll move on to the next comment.
Thank
you for the donation. I appreciate it.
Eddie, keep it.
I love you.
Here.
I appreciate it. But my God.
All right. I don't know what time it is over there in Greece or whatever the hell you are, but go to bed.
Yeah.
All right.
Look out.
Okay. Points. So I'm just gonna go another boring pick here. I'm gonna go TK. All right. He's led the team in points. I'm gonna say this is the year Let me just make sure he hasn't done it in the past. I know he's been close a lot of times. This is the year he finally gets to the point per game plateau. Has he done it yet? No, he was 6 short last year, 8 short the year before. He's 61 and 60 back in 2022, 2023. But full season, God willing, no injuries. I think TK, finally a point per game player, maybe between 80, 85 points, hits the 30-point plateau, gets 50-plus assists, and we're looking at a point per game player, Travis Konechny, all while playing in the Winter Olympics in Italy. So, all right. So, you're going with the superstar there. Can't blame you for going Michkov. I mean, I would love to see Michkov 80-plus points, 30-plus goals second season. That'd be amazing. My pick's a little bit boring there with TK.
Yeah, you threw Zegers in there, though, at some point. So
Zegers is fun.
All right.
That's
a fun one.
Okay. All right. So now let's get to some of the juicier ones here because, the point totals and who's going to lead the team, that's fun. Jack, who is going to be the most surprising player this year? Offense, defense, goalie? Who do you got?
So this one was tough. So ultimately, I settled on Cam York. I'm hoping that with all the smack and shade they threw towards Torts with him being out of here, if he can come back healthy and play, that he was one of the better looking players in camp and preseason. I think that Cam York could be that guy. I think he'll surprise and be better than expected, hopefully, please God. And he'll be right back on the, where he was 2 years ago, if not a little bit better. I really don't know why other than the Torts factor. Like, to me, that's a huge thing. And these players nowadays, they're very interested in analytics and certain coaching techniques and just basic information of making themselves better. And now he's got one of the best communicators in the sport in Tocchet. And I just think he's in a position now to be that guy as long as he's not out long term. And he's not, you said surprising. He's not somebody where I think about who's going to be good this year. He's not somebody that just jumps out at me. Like, he's really going to, so it will be surprising to me if he really takes another step or two.
Okay. That was Cam York, right?
Yes.
Okay. Could see that. Yeah. Cause he's still young, but we haven't seen what they advertised him as when he was drafted. So yeah, I could see that. So for this one, for me, it would have been easy to say Jamie Drysdale, and you can call me crazy. Jamie, even though he hasn't done it yet in his career, when Jamie Drysdale scores, 40 plus points, 50 plus points, it won't surprise me because he's got the skill. He just needs to put it together. So to say that he would be a surprising pick for me would be more to appease the viewers and the fans. Like, oh, Jamie Drysdale, who saw that coming? I'm going to go with my gut here, and I'm going to say Owen Tippett. I know. I think Tocchet gets him close to 40 goals this year.
Holy shit. That would be amazing.
I wanted to say him for my goals. I think Tocchet gets him. I don't think it's out of the question that Tippett gets 30. You know what? That'll be my bold prediction. Because, I'm not going to sit here and say my bold prediction is Flyers making the playoffs. They sneak in. It's not happening. Bold prediction will be Owen Tippett, 37 goals this year. On the dot. Write it down. 37 goals. I just think Tocchet's going to I'm Tortorella maybe had a way for Tippett to play, right? He's good in transition, can skate through the neutral zone, needs the puck on his stick. It sounds like Tocchet is trying to get him to play a different way. Hey, there are multiple ways to play this game. You can get to this spot. We can get you the puck here. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And if the power play is going to improve, they have a guy that can distribute now. Zegras, Michkov, Drysdale can distribute. Apparently, Cam York is still one of those guys. We'll see. Seeing's believing, I guess. Why won't Owen Tippett be on the receiving end of a lot of these chances? You know what I mean? If Tippett can get 8 to 10 power play goals, he's good for 20 even strength goals. That's 30 goals right there. So I'm just going to go, and maybe it never gets close again. bold prediction, surprise player, Owen Tippett pushing for 40 goals this year.
Man, do I hope you're right. My God.
Wouldn't
would
that be fun?
huge. That'd be huge.
I'm going
for
to
the team.
celebrate I'm going to get obnoxious this year, I think, Jack. I'm just going to, because I don't know if we're ever going to see a Stanley Cup. So I'm going to celebrate the things that I want to celebrate. I'm going to celebrate every Owen Tippett goal this year like it's the Stanley Cup.
I hope he scores tomorrow just for you. It's his old team, too.
I'm going to do a video every time Owen Tippett scores. You're going to see this face with this jacket.
Well, we're going to see a jacket 20 times this year. There's 3 things that need to happen for like Tippett to reach those levels. You've already talked about the power play. That's obvious for many of our predictions, obviously. The other thing is I think Tocchet is going to have to find the right 5-on-5 line mates for him. And I just don't know who that is. You know, he's just such a unique, strange player. And just with on the rush and losing the puck, but also having high-end skill, but he took 100 less shots last year, and I don't know why.
Oh, he was hurt.
He was hurt, but 2 years ago he was hurt too. He missed a lot more time. So yeah. I'm just like, and that's my point though. Like it's a conundrum wrapped in a quagmire. Like I don't know. And the third thing is just taking more shots. Obviously, if he can get back to the guy who's and taking good shots too, not just flinging it, or those almost looks like it's the end of the shift, dump it, but it's not. It's actual tip and shot. So there's a couple of factors there, but it's not that crazy either because the skill is in there somewhere. Can they get it out? Can Tocchet get it out? That's bold. I like it, and that would be a surprise. So I'm all for that.
Yeah. All right, let's move on a little bit here. We touched on surprise. We're going to get to most improved. But before we get there, biggest letdown this season for you, Jack?
Yeah, so you know how you were talking about wanting to appease the fans with most surprising?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing the opposite here when I kind of think it's going to be Drysdale.
Okay.
This is the first year where I'm like injuries and new team and all that shit, like that all doesn't count anymore. This is the first year where it's like you have full expectations like anybody else. And there's certain holes in his game where offensively he can really do some stuff, but you still got to play defense. And he doesn't always pinch at the right times. I don't want to say he's useless on D sometimes, but like when you're a guy that you kind of have to shelter on your third pair because of his actual defensive acronym is just not good. And I don't think he's going to get the offensive points, at least not this year. And I think we're going to be like, yeah, well, we might be a little bit worried here about Drysdale. He's still got some time, but how much? And is he going to be the guy we think he is? I think Andre is still around in the organization until they're sure what they have in Drysdale. And once they are, he may be packing. And I think they're hoping they find that out this year. There's just things in his game that remind me a little bit of Ghost at times, minus the super offense that Ghost would give us. And it's just like, I don't know if he'll stick because of that. How long is it going to be before Tocchet gets irritated with it and makes some changes? And he's already going to be put in the position where he's got to play higher in the lineup at 5-on-5 because of how weak our defense is and because of injuries. And that can mess with your confidence and get into your game. And I'm just worried about him. And you want it to work out so bad that you worry. And I haven't seen that like with Michkov, you see how good he is. Even with Zegras, like you see the skill there. And I sometimes see it with Drysdale, but he makes a lot of mistakes too. Players like that are going to lose the puck. They are going to make mistakes. And then you just hope that they make better plays. I haven't seen that yet. And I don't know if I'm going to see it. I'm worried. I'm worried about that. And I think at the end of the year, there's a strong chance that things don't necessarily work out the way we hoped with Drysdale.
And that's fine. They go right after Cale Makar.
There you go. See, you're welcome. You're welcome, Jim. Bring him home. Bring him home.
Plan all along. All right. So my biggest letdown player for this season is going to be Tyson Forster. And I love Tyson Forster.
What stings?
But when you look at the stats from last year, you see 25 goals, you see 43 points, and you're like, oh, he improved. He took another step, right? 5 of those goals came in 2 games at the end of the year. 6 of those goals came during the last 5 games of the season last year. Tyson Forster didn't look as good as he did during his rookie year for a majority of last season and was called out on it a few times during the course of the year. Now, I'm wondering if, right, because what's an improvement on 25 goals? Like if I was to ask you, what's an improved season for Tyson Forster this year, points wise, Jack? What would you say?
I don't know how many assists he had, but like he's a goal scorer. So honestly, I would like to see him have 25 goals, but like by the trade deadline, and then whatever else afterwards.
Sure.
He's got to stay healthy. He's slow to come back, but the games he did play in preseason, he looked good. He looked like he was up to snuff. So there is some hope there, and he's on a line that has so much familiarity that who knows. But I understand your point. I brought that up to Russ. I was like, yeah, hopefully we'll get some more goals in non-garbage time when we had Russ Cohen on. He shot me down. Oh, I don't think you're worried about that. I'm like, well, until I see it, I'm going to worry about it. And there's something there. At the end of the day, you can't control it. It is what it is. And I'll take 25 goals from that guy. It's only his second year in the league. He needs to. The one thing we need to see for him to not have a bad year, at least, I'd like to see him hit the ground running because his last 2 seasons, he's been slow out of the gate. His first year, he was slow, but he had the defensive play was there. This past season, he didn't have the offense and he didn't have the defensive play either. He had to really come around. But maybe new coaching will change that. He's not exactly going to get the power play time like you think. So that might be a little bit tough to break 25, but we'll see. That line is pretty good. Yeah, I hope you're wrong. I really like Forster.
So do I.
I feel the opposite about Forster that I do Drysdale, at least for this season. And Drysdale's going to get the opportunities. I don't know how many Forster's going to get, but 25 is going to be tough to beat as well.
Well, I'm thinking in terms of, all right, well, what would let me down?
Yeah.
If I'm thinking Tyson Forster is a 30-goal guy, 20 goals, 25 goals, I mean, what's an improvement on 25 goals? What's an improvement for Tyson Forster?
I'd like to see
25 goals and plus 50 points.
Yeah, so I don't know what the exact stats are, but if I would like him this year to have the season Tippett had 2 years ago. That was like 28 goals. I don't know how many assists, but these guys are goal scorers. So that is like flirting with 30.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I'll say that's good.
When you hear Tyson Forster, you think, man, bomb shot, goal scorer, right? I know he's been in the league for 2 years, 20 goals, 25 goals, outstanding. But these 20-goal guys are, I don't want to say they're a dime a dozen, but there's a lot of 20-goal players in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you got Sidney Crosby giving him compliments over the offseason.
You think it's all bad? It's all going to backfire?
Well, I mean, there's expectations for Tyson Forster.
That's true.
So when there's expectations, on the other hand, now you have the ability to be let down. And, I think all this talk about Forster, I know he's good away from I love watching Tyson Forster. A few years ago, I said, when TK's on the ice, you can clearly see he's better than any other Flyer. Tyson Forster looked like that for me for a while. But it's time to put the points up. He should be a 60-point guy. This is year 3. 23 years old, will be 24 in January. Let's get going here. 30 goals. Yeah. Right? And if he doesn't score 30 goals or even match 25, that's a letdown for me.
He's got to at least match 25, I'd say.
Yeah. All right. Next topic here. So we did biggest surprise, biggest letdown. Let's do the most improved for the year, Jack. Who do you got?
Right. Yeah, mine's not going to be too much fun here. Based on the goals and points leader that I gave, it would be Michkov for me. I mean, but to jump up that many points and goals, it would have to be. But also, you're talking about a superstar here. For him to take those steps and just teeter with those numbers, that is huge for us. That's exactly what we need, and it's very, very important. No matter what happens this year, if he's doing his thing offensively and the power play and all that with Zegras, then he's my most improved. It only makes too much sense. I can't see, at least offensively, too many other guys unless you're dipping into like real rookie numbers and whatnot. So for me, based on what I had already said, I kind of had to say Mishkov.
Okay. So for me here, I was tempted to go Jamie Drysdale, but I don't necessarily have the same thoughts on Drysdale. Like what would be a number for you to be like, okay, like he showed something this year, we have something going into next year, or does this year need to be the year for you?
Well, when you say the year, what do you
Like,
mean?
does he need to like 40 plus points this year?
It depends on how much power play time he gets and whatnot. Like if they have another, see, it's so hard because a lot of it's coaching. We got a new coaching staff. I'm just gonna have to go with points. So what do you have last year? 7 goals, 13 assists for 20 points. I want those assist numbers to go way up, like 13 assists. Like I'm thinking like 30 assists or 25. You don't have to go crazy with the goals. Like I really wanted him to more than double 13 assists. Like that's for sure. And then whatever he can chip in with the goals. He got 7 last year. If he had 7 again, but had almost 30 assists, that's close enough to 40. I'd be okay with that. That's a jump. It's not a superstar jump or but it's a jump. I would feel better about that. That would be a big improvement for him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to take Drysdale as most improved. I just don't know that he, like an improvement for Drysdale would be like exactly what you're saying. Like he's played 94 games with the Flyers. He's minus 50 in 94 games. He's on the ice for more goals against in half his games played. You know what I mean? So an improvement year for him is just putting up better numbers than you did your first full rookie season, which is 4 goals, 28 assists. And just like, I know the plus minus thing we don't really want to look at, but when you're in minus 30, I think it's fair to bring up. So and I don't have the confidence that Jamie Drysdale is going to be that much improved that I'm going to pick him for most improved this year, but I wanted to pick him. Most improved player this year. This is a hard one for me because I also want to say, I mean, if Owen Tippett scores 37 goals, he's going to be the most improved, right?
That's kind of where I was at with Michkov. So yeah.
But I also what about Sean Couturier? Do you
I'd
think
be
there's
happy if
any
he
shot that he bounces back to the point where you're like, old Coots is back?
Oof. I don't want to say zero chance, but I guess there's something out there. I'd be really surprised. That would be under surprise for me. Whoa, that's a big surprise.
Slower and slower every day.
You know who's another player that could improve? If Noah Cates opens up more of an offensive game that they have rumored to say he has, and he's on the line where he could do it because that's the best line we have, that could be more improvement for him. Because they're saying he's got some offense. He's just got to show it. If he were to, what did he do last year?
16. You know what? I said we got this great tool that we pay for. Let me bring it up on the screen here.
Hang on one second.
Noah Cates last year, 16 goals, 21 assists for 37 points. Yeah, I mean, I guess an improved year would be 20 goals, 25 assists, 45 points. Why can't he do that? Playing on the same line he's always played on, Forster, Brink. It's possible.
Yeah, definitely more assists. If we're talking Forster doing the opposite of what you think, and even Brink too, like if that line in general just takes another step up, all 3 of those players are young guys. All those stats could improve, and it's the Flyers are the ones pushing that he has this hidden offense. And I'm being dramatic when I say it, but there's apparently something there. What if he hits like 22 goals and 30 assists and goes from 37 points to 50? Like that would definitely be most improved for me, depending on what everybody else does. Probably not going to happen, but these are bold predictions for a reason, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Lyndon, love talking hockey with you too. Thank you.
Yes, appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess my most improved, because there's at least a handful of guys that we're hoping improve this year. I guess I'll go with Tippett, because if he scores 37 goals, I think he had 22 last year. Massive jump. So I'll go Tippett, most improved. All right, we kind of touched on the Flyers' greatest weakness earlier, but I mean, is it goaltending or defense, Jack? Flyers' greatest weakness.
I'm going to stick with goaltending as close as that is. That's a photo finish, but a lot of the defensive issues are injury related, where the goaltending's not. So I'm going to lean goaltending, even if Vladar comes around a little bit. It's still you're like when you're hoping for league minimum, not even average. You want to be at 900 or as close to it save percentage as possible. Like when that's your like hope and prayer, you're bad. And they really didn't do a whole lot to improve at all. I understand that goaltending's in the future of some of these prospects, but my God, have things been really bad. And my God, did they not do a whole lot to improve it? Yes, the Kolosov-Fedotov thing was a lot worse, but that's all we're talking about doing. Stabilizing a goaltending situation where our starting goalie is most likely a backup. Yeah. that's the top weakness to me.
Yeah. I would say it's right on up there. I mean, it's frustrating. I was going to try to argue the defense is more frustrating, but it's just like equally frustrating.
There's like there's a but to it, to the defense. Yeah. There's a but. The goaltending, there's no but.
Having said that, like if I was rebuilding a team and said this, I don't know if I ever said it on here, or if I said it so long ago, I would build the forward group up with, draft picks, my own players, whatever it is. And I would then trade or sign defense, because they take so long to develop, right? Yeah. Defense, if you draft an 18-year-old kid, he's not going to be on your roster if things go, right, until he's like 22, 23 years old, whatever it is, and contributing. You know what I mean? You get to take – I feel like when you're 20, 21 years old, your defense, you got training wheels for at least a season or two. So right now, the Flyers defense core it's mangled, to say the least. Like it's just a mismatched bunch of guys that they're hoping work out. And so I think to go into the opening night lineup with what they got, even if everybody was healthy, would be and Ristolainen does a lot because he kind of stabilizes things. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating because it's hard to, like I said, the Flyers are going to be fun to watch, and I'll be watching them every game because they're going to be fun to watch, at least I hope. But they're going to give up a shit ton of goals, man. A lot of goals.
It's going to be tough to watch. Yeah. Hopefully the offensive magic is there.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on here. So we still got to do a division assessment. We're just about an hour into the show, 58 minutes. Okay. Jack, do the 2025-2026 Flyers make the playoffs this year?
I don't have them making it. Not by a long shot.
No. And so number one reason is the Atlantic Division has got a lot of teams in there. They should have 5 teams, I think, that make the playoffs this year, between Panthers, maybe the Canadiens, maybe the Senators, Tampa Bay, Toronto. There's 5 teams right there. We'll see what Detroit does.
You could probably make a case for just about everybody in that division, except for maybe Buffalo. Yeah. And I think you said at least 5. I think Tampa probably wins that division this year. Wow. Florida, Toronto, Boston, Ottawa made it last year. They're just, hopefully they beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah. And then we go to the Metro, and it's somewhat the opposite, right? Like I think we're all expecting Carolina to beat a chalk out of the Metro this year, the top seed.
I don't think Washington's going to do what they did last year, but I do think they could be in the mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, top 3. It's some mix of Carolina, New Jersey, Washington. Does New York have a bounce back year with Mike Sullivan? JT Miller's the captain now. They moved out Keandre Miller. We'll see. New York will be in the mix. I think they'll have a bounce back season, unfortunately, right? And then you have the Islanders, I think they'll be better than the Flyers. I'm not going to say they'll be a top 4 team. Columbus, a surprise team last year, should be in the mix. They should be better than the Flyers this year, I think. And it's going to kind of be between the Flyers and the Penguins and maybe the Islanders for bottom of the basement there in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I mean, going from the bottom up, I think Pittsburgh is dead last, even though they beat the Rangers.
Undefeated? No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's true. Hey, they're out of the McKenna sweepstakes as of now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably going to be us. Then maybe either some kind of combination of us, Columbus, and maybe the Islanders. Although the Islanders don't look horrific, they might have a little bit of a bounce back. But I don't know. I've seen a lot of people who think that this will be Patrick Roy's last year there. They did have Shabanov, and he does look good, but whatever. And they do have good, they got it. The first overall pick's playing for them. He looks pretty solid. They have a good goaltending. If Barzell has a bounce back year with a few other pieces, who knows with them? I just think that teams like Carolina and Jersey and probably Washington are your 1, 2, 3. Rangers are probably 4th, and then I think it's probably like the Islanders, Columbus-ish, and then probably us and Pittsburgh. So, and I don't think of it the way I laid that out. Maybe only 3 of those teams make the playoffs based on the other division.
Yeah. It's look, it's exciting that Flyers hockey's back. People will be excited, for a month or two. Maybe the Flyers will score some goals this year, keep people interested, but come wintertime, December, January, February, when it gets cold, people will stop going. They'll start to lose interest. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but hey, I'm not mad about it.
Not me, Jim. I'm already locked in for 11 games, baby.
There you go.
I already went to 2 preseason games. I never go to preseason games, but I already went to 2 because I'm dying. I'm dying for hockey.
You got it tomorrow night, buddy. It's coming up. So I know we got to wrap this show up because the Phil Dogs are getting swept tonight. So, dude, they're just a sad group, man.
Jesus Christ.
Sad bunch. Okay. So Flyers not making the playoffs. So where do you have them finishing, Jack? When it's all said and done, bottom 3 in the Eastern Conference.
Say bottom 5 in the Eastern Conference, somewhere in that range. I don't know how you can make an argument with their defense and their goaltending. Like a lot of things got to go right for them to even be in the mix. They might hang around for a while, and maybe even have a couple of runs, but I don't see sustained success that would have to be fully on the back of their offense. I just don't see it happening. Too many injuries already. The season hasn't even started yet. Not the Metro. The Atlantic is just too strong. The Metro's they still got heavyweights in there that are going to probably smack you around. I don't even look at Washington as a heavyweight. I feel like they like completely outclass us. They're not even really a heavyweight. I doubt they may make the playoffs, but they'll probably be like a 7th, 8th seed. I just don't see it this year. The Rangers they'll be back in the mix. There's too many other teams you can make a case for that be a lot better from both divisions. It just pushes the Flyers down even further. So unless there's some kind of miracle trade or somebody comes up and surprises the hell out of us, or Vladar is crazy good, or I don't know. I think several of those things would have to happen for us to make the playoffs, and I don't even know if one of them do.
Yeah, I'm going to go out and look, this sucks to say on the eve of Flyers hockey coming back, and I know I think I said, where do you see them in the finishing in the conference, but I think this is a bottom 5 team in the league this year.
Ooh, maybe that'd be
maybe
good.
They contend with Buffalo for last in the Eastern Conference. Buffalo, Pittsburgh,
San Jose,
Chicago. I think San Jose maybe improves like significantly this year.
A lot of lists have like Chicago like a spot or 2 ahead of us, but they still got San Jose down. I guess because they just don't have much of an offense or defense, or defense or
they're not. I mean, they have fun, exciting kids, but like they're not very deep. Like the Flyers, Flyers are deep, but I don't know if they have the same exciting talent.
Exciting wise, it's TK. I mean, I put our offense up against theirs, but like they got like Sam Dickinson who's going to play defense for them. They have other players. They got Askarov who is eventually going to pop in a goal. Like we don't have that, at least not for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But the West is strong too. So they, as Lyndon just said, so they could take a lot of L's. So I just think we're both going to be at the bottom. Honestly, it's a long road.
Yeah, we'll see him. We'll see him there. That's for sure. Okay. Trade deadline this year. They said they're not going to be sellers.
Not 100% true. They're not selling in the sense that they're acquiring draft capital. If they have to make a trade, it'll be more of a player for player thing, like a hockey trade. That now you did phrase it as trade deadline. Hockey deals don't typically happen at the trade deadline. You know, they could happen at any point of the year, usually a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I mean, that's what I meant, trade deadline. Because if they're adding,
well, I think
they'd be making a push. If they're selling,
part
they're
two
way
of that
out of it.
is whether they're doing it, but say they're out of it. I think they made a mentality change when they said, we're no longer rebuilding. We're going to try to start winning. That's a mentality thing. That doesn't mean it's going to just show up on the ice. So I think they're going to push it no matter how bad they are, unless they're horrific. And if they're pretty rough and you're like, they're probably not going to make the playoffs, I think they're going to push it all the way to the trade deadline before they're like, okay, we're not going to make it. Let's pull the trigger on something here. And then I think you could see, and I'm not throwing out like a trade for a pick because you should, if you're going to lose somebody like Dvorak, like if
buyers or sellers,
if you're going to,
you could just say sellers.
Well, yeah, but it should be noted that it's going to be a different kind of selling. A guy like Dvorak, I don't see a player for player deal there. Maybe if they're out, then go to move him. That's a pick. But Tippett is different because you have to sell Tippett if you're going to before the end of this year. I think you have right up to free agency, like July 1, because then his no trade clause kicks in. So if you are out on Tippett, if he's having a bad year, the team sucks, you need to make that decision as soon as possible. Maybe the trade deadline or close to it is when you do that. If you're out of it and you're like, yeah, we need to make some changes here. Because he's also a winger. You have a plethora of wings. You probably should trade a winger. So I don't know who's going to be available. I don't know who's going to want somebody if they're not playing that well. But there's usually all it takes is one guy, one organization. I could fix him. I don't know. I could do it. So that's why I think that could be your hockey trade.
Was that just a bold prediction right there? Owen Tippett traded at the trade deadline?
More wishful thinking.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So I'm saying that if they're not making the playoffs, for me, they're sellers. It's just how they sell this year.
Yeah, I'll say sellers too. Which I think it would kind of go against what they said. Again, I think it was the service to say that.
Yes, but I think that's why I didn't make that up, that whole the hockey trade thing. That is, Briere was asked that at a press conference about selling, and he goes, the mentality would be different. It'd be more about player for player than it would be just acquiring draft assets.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm getting that from. Mm-hmm. So, but
you are
right. So
I guess that is a possibility if you're looking at like maybe a team that's not going to make because if a team's going to make the playoffs, they're not going to be looking to move anybody out. But if there's a team like I'm just going to say, like for example, the Sharks.
It depends. Like some of those teams that are on the bubble. Like it's like they have their issues and they try to mask it by, I wish I could think of an example. I'm sure I can't, but that's what I'd be looking at. But again, I'm going by what Briere said. I don't know if that actually matches up real time.
Yeah.
So, or maybe it's two teams out of the playoffs that just had enough of, I've had enough of this player. You've had enough of this player. Boom.
Maybe.
So, I don't know.
He's looking for D now. So who knows?
Always looking for the D.
Hey, they gotta be.
Oh, here's your last piece of news here. Torts back to ESPN. Thank you, Lyndon.
Yes.
He'll be crapping on the Michigans. Seegers and Mishkov.
And right before we do our read, before we sign off for fans of Philly, when do the Flyers get their first win of the season, Jack?
Jim, I talked a lot of smack tonight about the Flyers, how they're not good enough and they're not going to make the playoffs. But tomorrow night they're going to beat the defending champs.
Wow. Really?
Yes. Because Delorier's in the lineup. No, I just feel like they're going to come out gangbusters. They're going to be hyped, and they're going to pull it out. They're going to surprise us all, give us that false hope. They're going to pull it out.
Pull it out with the D.
Oh, my God.
All right, so look at the Flyers' schedule. They are away for their first two games. If you have the read up, we could do the read, and then I'll give my prediction for when they get their first win.
All right, ready when you are, sir.
Yeah, Godspeed.
All right, guys, quick timeout, because if you're a die-hard Philly fan, you need to hear about this. Fans of Philly is the ultimate way to hit the road with the Birds, the Flyers, the Phils, or even the Sixers. We're talking full travel packages, your hotel, your transportation, and yes, the tailgates that are basically legendary at this point, all taken care of for you. No stress, no scrambling for tickets, no worrying about where you're staying. You just show up, throw on your jersey, and enjoy the ride with your fellow Philly sports fans. So whether it's flying out to see the Eagles take over an opponent's arena, cheering on the Flyers in enemy territory, or making it a full weekend getaway for the Phillies and Sixers games, Fans of Philly has you covered. Trust me, this is the closest you'll get to feeling like one of the players as they roll into town, because their takeover is real. So check them out Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and start planning your next Philly sports road trip today. That's PH, Fans of Philly, fansofphilly.com, where every away game feels like a home game.
Well done there, Jack. Fansofphilly.com, taking a trip out west this year. Okay, before we wrap up our show tonight, I'll give my predictions for when the Flyers get their first win. I'm going to say that that's going to be on next Saturday, Jack, against the Minnesota Wild.
I had some feeling you were going to say that. So is that all regulation losses up until then?
No, I think maybe they take the Panthers to overtime at home on Monday.
Damn, can't even give me. I'm having people over tomorrow, and I can't even get that.
Oh, sorry,
Maybe
maybe
might not even get the Phillies
0-2-2.
Oh,
that's a rough stretch they got to open the season.
It is. I was hoping we could maybe take advantage of that, but you're right. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, that's a lot of, I mean, if not all playoff teams right there. I mean, they'd be lucky to get the win. I think they did beat Minnesota. Didn't Michkov get a hat trick against them or something last year? Or was that Coots?
Michkov has yet to, no, that was my son's first game, actually. Yeah. Coots and Couturier, I believe it was both of them, each had 5-point games. Coots had a hat trick. Mishkov had a goal and an assist. That was, it was incredible. It was wild. It was like 7-5. It was like a crazy game back and forth.
Yeah. All right. So that's going to wrap it up. No more doom and gloom for tonight. Let me get this off the screen so you guys can see our faces while we say goodbye. Jack, anything you wanted to add in before tomorrow night? The season officially starts. So any crazy wild predictions that you have, you got to get them in now.
Ooh. Oh, man. How about first goal scorer? I'm going to go with
Joel Farabee.
I think we've definitely used that several times. I want to go with something strange, like something random. I'm going to go with Noel. I'll go with Juleson.
Did you ever say Nolan Patrick?
Isn't it Noah Juleson?
Yeah, it is.
I wasn't sure. I just kind of stopped myself.
Noah Juleson.
Yeah, he's going to deflect it off of somebody trying to not shoot. Something weird.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Come on, Jim. Be bolder than that.
Bolder than Noah Juleson. How do I beat that?
Urson?
Yeah, really. I'm going to go Owen Tippett. Get it started tomorrow night,
okay.
baby. After tomorrow, only 36 left after tomorrow night.
We're going to get a video.
Maybe Hattie watch tomorrow for Tipper. I'm going to be real annoying with this year.
Have the video ready.
Apologies in advance. Adam Jennings from the press box.
That's better than Juleson.
He gets in if Gilbert's not
I'm
playing.
sticking with Juleson, though. I love him so much. He's so good. He's big. He's a big guy.
All right, boys and girls, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to subscribe. Help us continue our quest for 2,000 YouTube subscribers. And you better leave a comment for us on YouTube. We love interacting with you guys. The season starts tomorrow. Let us know how excited you are, or put your answers into our questions during the show. And it'd be fun to talk about these for next week. You can also follow us and listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Set alerts so you're the first to know when we drop a new show. And for all of our latest episodes, you can head over to HW Hockey YT. That's our YouTube page. Catch all of our latest episodes there. For Jack, I'm Jim. We'll see you guys. You'll see us next week. And I also have a new show out Friday. It's going to be like a kind of a HW Hockey happy hour. Charlie Minn's going to join us for the episode there. Finally, got his StreamYard working. So you can see that behind us there. He did the Suite of Philadelphia. So
that looks great.
Yeah. All right. We'll let you guys go. Go Phillies. Go Flyers. Go Eagles. And don't forget to keep it high, keep it wide. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.